My grandchildren, 2 are 8 and 2 are 7, they all know how to code. But you know what? They play outside every afternoon.
During a Media Row event for the Pentagon's New Media Week, I spoke with Katie Arrington. She is a cybersecurity expert who served at the Department of Defense as Chief Information Security Officer during President Donald Trump's first term. Arrington is also a former member of the South Carolina State Legislature. She also ran for Congress in 2018 and 2022.
I'm Katie Arrington, performing the duties of the Chief Information Officer at the Department of War.
And you're a repeat offender to the Pentagon,
Yes, I am.
So you were here with Donald Trump's first term.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Oh my gosh, it was wonderful. I came into the department in January of 2019 and ended up running the COVID supply chain for acceleration for the whole of government. I was blessed. I had great bosses. I worked for the Assistant Secretary for Acquisition, Kevin Fahey, and Ellen Lord, who was the Undersecretary. It was amazing. I can't say enough about Trump 1, how it was a blur. The things we did changed the world, and now to come back and pick up where we left off.
How does the energy compare, Trump administration 1.0 versus 2.0?
2.0 is a heck of a lot faster.
Why? Because this is it?
The things that we did before, we did, and we were still challenged with, is it okay? We're going. Now it's full on. Let's just go, 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 go. And I think the urgency of the globe, between Ukraine and Russia, between Israel and Iran, what's happening in the Sudan, we are seeing that sense of urgency we are actually able to execute on. And things like I'm in charge of cybersecurity, cryptography, networks. I have done, my team, not me, my team, we've done things like software fast track, where we went to the secretary the first few days of the administration. He said, use the software acquisition pathway, which is a thing that I created in Trump 1, right? Which was a way that you can bring innovation in faster. Well, I went a step further and said, well, to do it, we need a software fast track, right? You can't buy something if you can't get it into the building faster. So all the rules that I generally have to go through are like moving on days and hours, not weeks and months.
Well, but that being said, you are an interim position. Am I incorrect there?
There's a CIO nominee, yes.
And what do you think of the nominee?
I have never met her, but I've heard wonderful things about.
Were you disappointed to not get the nomination yourself?
No, I'm just happy to serve. I just want to put me in coach.
So what's next for you? Are you going to stay with Pentagon?
I have no idea.
Can you talk a little about your time running for office and how it compares to your work in the government, in the Pentagon specifically?
I would say they're the exact same, right?
Yeah.
You wake up every morning, and your job is to do the right thing by the people you represent.
Is it difficult to look, because obviously you had a successful career as a state legislator in South Carolina, and then you ran for the House. Is it difficult to look at the representatives from South Carolina and feel like I should have been there, or are you happier being able to work for the federal government in this capacity?
So I am one of one right now. I'm not one of 435. And I'm able to make movement and changes that really affect and secure my nation in a much more agile way. So God always has a plan, right?
Sure.
And his plan was for me to be here forever, the amount of time. The new nominee, until you're out and out of the Senate, I created a wonderful team for her, great momentum, and I pray that she does, the best that she can. I mean, the president wouldn't have picked her if he didn't think that she was able to do the job.
Were you able to speak to President Trump about the nominee? Were you able to consult on that decision?
No, not on that issue.
Okay.
No. But POTUS is a very busy man.
No, I'm sure, yeah.
He knows where Katie's out there doing something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of momentum out of the shop that I'm in, the CIO, and I'll continue that, right? But I'm just here to, I have 4 grandkids, and
That's so exciting.
Is it?
I think it is. I mean, we're in the middle of an infertility crisis in America. You're someone who's built a long career. I mean, you have 2 children yourself, right?
Yes, and so the grandkids are what are everything to me. And what are we doing every single day to make it better for them so that they have the opportunity that I had? And that is the fuel that has been my gut fire from day one, making sure that those men and women out there have the best capability to defend the greatest nation on the planet, full stop, ever, has always been my passion. I mean, if you know my history, you know that I have been an advocate for America first. You know, when I ran for office a bazillion years ago, I used to tell people, you know, when you get on a plane, the flight attendant's job is not to get you drinks. It's to help you in the event of an emergency.
Right.
And what do they say? And nobody listens, right? But they say when the oxygen mask drops, put
Yours on first.
First, right?
Yeah.
America first is for a reason.
So how does your background in cybersecurity play into the advice you maybe give to your children or grandchildren? I mean, is there anything that you would want to tell the American people to make themselves more secure?
Absolutely. Do the basics, right? Change your passwords.
I listened to a speech from you that said basically that was one of the biggest problems.
Most people don't change their passwords. But I also, you know, I look at my grandchildren and I'll tell you, I did an experiment. We played with the kids this summer in an electronic-free summer. Summer of the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Complete total difference in my grandchildren.
Yeah.
And I would
behaviorally
say,
or
yes, absolutely. And what I would say to America is let our children be children. And what is more important to me is teaching children how to code and let them play outside.
Interesting.
Let them learn how to make technology work for them. They don't need to work for technology. And the one thing I will say is remember critical thinking. AI is a wonderful tool.
It's a tool, though.
It's a tool. Critical thinking still needs to be there. You still need to teach that. That is one thing that I hope that we maintain is that critical thinking. And we have something in the department called the OODA loop, right?
Okay.
And it's a series of things, but you always have a human in the loop.
Right.
Right? And we have to maintain that. AI is going to be a huge asset. It's a tool in our toolkit, but it can't be the only.
Do you worry about increasing dependence on AI? I mean, I can't tell you the number of studies coming out about high schoolers who just write papers via ChatGPT. Are you worried that we have a technology illiterate culture that doesn't understand the risks that they're getting into?
So what I would say is, I wouldn't say illiterate, right? What I would say is we need to teach them critical thinking on how to use these tools and not just dump them on them. And that's where we're learning, right? That's why I say it's more important to me for a kindergartner or first grade or second grade to teach them to code so that they can understand how to program the AI, what it is doing.
Right.
Give them the critical thinking so that they can look at it themselves. Otherwise, we will always be, you know, inherently dependent on it. And that's where we need to change the culture, change the way we do things.
Someone might push back on what you're saying and point out that a lot of the execs in Silicon Valley, some of the people behind this technology, send their kids to screen-free schools. And like you said, it does have an impact. How do you balance teaching young children, and I know we're getting parenting advice from a Pentagon expert, how do you balance the desire to teach them to code with a desire to keep childhood sacred to a screen-free land?
So what I would say is my grandchildren, 2 are 8 and 2 are 7, they all know how to code. But you know what? They play outside every afternoon. And when they're out of school, right, they're out of school. And they're not attached to a computer. They're not attached to a device. They're either attached to a book or a ball. And we're going to you have to have a certain level of technology, right, to learn.
Right.
But it can't be the whole of a childhood. And that's where, you know, we have a lot of parents that, you know, everybody is guilty of it, even me, right? You know, here, take a tablet. I'm doing here, playing on my phone. We have to remember, you know, the summer of the 90s was a big thing this summer. A lot of parents said enough is enough, right?
Right.
And making sure that children still are children is important.
Right.
They're in school to learn. They must learn, right? But when they're out, they should be out.
Do you find that your experience as a mother, as a grandmother, impacts the way that you make decisions in your department?
Absolutely, because you have to remember that there's, you know, I joke around, I'm married to an engineer. When you have 8 engineers in the room, you have 20 different opinions. In this, it's a lot of, you know, I don't micromanage. I really believe in leadership matters, and I have the best people doing their jobs. And I'm there bouncing. You know, come to me with ideas and what you think, and I'll give you my opinion, right? And then come back to me. But my mom came to me as a young child. I'm 3 daughters, right? 1 bathroom. And my mom had this saying, if you bring me a problem without a solution, you're whining.
Yeah.
So I have a team who don't know how to whine. If there's a problem they found, they're bringing me multiple COAs, multiple solution sets, and let's move and see which one's the most effective. So yeah, absolutely. Everything God gives you the opportunity to learn, I pass along. I love my team. I love this building. I mean, look around at well, they're mostly gone now, but they were some of the best in the country right now are in the building. How could you not love it?
Well, I'm glad to hear you're so excited about your job. It was great speaking with you, Katie. I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.